Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. Social versus sexual charisma. And let me shout out the young man who inspired this video. Because let me say something about that in a second. But Ray Willie. Now, when I say inspired, I said on a video a few months ago, right? You want me to do a particular subject, I'm more apt to do it if I see a donation. Because what I've been getting lately, people be like, do a video. It's like, no. And it'd be somebody who ain't a long time follower. If you a long time follower and ask for something, I might be like, oh, okay, let me do it, right? Now, if I see somebody say something profound in a comment, I might say, hey, that's a good idea. I'll do it. I don't do those for free. But if you want something specific, nah, y'all need to bless a brother. And in my last video, I talked about my pimps. Shit, they want their money. Shit, if I don't get that money, they send me back out on the stroll, So, send me back on the track. Shit. So anyway, right? Social versus sexual, those are actually two different things. Like, people talk about having charisma and stuff and pulling women and stuff, but there's two different types. See, there's a social charisma, then there's a sexual charisma. And it's very easy to explain, right? Very easy to explain. Sometimes people get them confused. And you have some people blessed with both, right? But social charisma. You ever see that guy who can talk to all the women, right? Talk to all the women like him, and you feel that's charisma. Like that person who can chat up everybody and everything, right? And he might not be handsome or something, but he's just gregarious, extroverted, right? He cool with everybody, right? That's social charisma, right? Guys generally, some of them can make some good salesmen. They cool. Everybody like them. You see that type, that's social charisma. Now, that's not necessarily sexual charisma. And see, that's one mistake people make, right? Like, I always get, every now and then I get somebody say, hey, man, why don't you do a video showing you talking to some woman? For what? Well, that don't mean anything. That don't mean I'm fucking her. Because, see, if I see a man talking with a woman, I don't always assume he fucking her. Because I'll start looking at their body language. See, understand something, and shout out Alan Roger Curry. He talks a lot about this. A lot of women like that non-sexual attention. So, and that dude, he might have that charisma, be their friend. But then if you say, well, it don't always translate into sex. That's social charisma. Like, a lot of people got that. Sometimes you got some people who got that social charisma and they ain't messing with nobody. I know a married woman now, she got a lot of charisma. Everybody like her. But she ain't messing around with anybody other than her husband. And the average dude ain't gonna want to have sex with her. I mean, she cute, she cool. She one of the best people I ever known. But since she's older, it's like, older and happily married. But that's social charisma. Now, sexual charisma is different, right? Sexual charisma means you drawing people to you in a sexual manner. You can be, like, for social charisma, you pretty much got to be extroverted. There ain't no ifs, ands, and buts. You got to be gregarious. You got to be that type, want to talk to everybody. But like I said, it don't necessarily mean, that don't always translate to sex. Sexual charisma mean people of the opposite sex look at you and want to fuck you. And they're just going to be, like, crude about it. They want to fuck. And some people got that. I've had women point out men to me who are quiet. Like, quiet to, like, I remember one woman was pointing out a guy, he was like real quiet, almost to the point, like, that dude, almost to the point, I barely heard that dude talk. I mean, seriously, this particular dude, I barely heard him speak. I could, if he were to speak to me over the phone, or I heard his voice, I wouldn't, like, match it up. That's how much I can't think of, like, even what his voice sound like, right? Because he was that quiet. Personally, I thought he might have been a high-functioning autistic, right? There's no shade against anybody who has that, but that's just how quiet he was, right? He was pretty competent at his job, right? He was pretty, you give him directions, he was able to do it, but he was real quiet, Yeah, I had one woman, she said she wanted to fuck him. In the irony of her, she was a lesbian. And then found out another woman, he got another woman pregnant. And I ain't hear that from him, right? And you got some dudes like that. Like I said, sexual charisma could be whatever. That's just something about, it's a combination of how you carry yourself, your basic personality, looks, body type, clothing, everything. It's something about you that draws people to you in a sexual manner, right? Like they might not want to be like you probably like not the life of the party. Like one of the examples I use, and I use this in my own book because that's something, I mean, well, I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm not the most extroverted person, all right? And I've gotten more women just because they were attracted, or they've used the word, well, women have used the word sexy with me more than they use the word fine, all right? Because personally, I think I'm average looking, so they've used that. And they've told me too. They was like, it was just something about you. How you were standing, how you were walking, something like that. Like I would say social charisma is more verbal. It's more verbal. You have to talk. But sexual charisma is more nonverbal, right? Like I remember this one woman who had sexual charisma. She was at this event, and I remember she was just sitting perfectly still. But just how she was sitting and everything, you wanted to like take her and slam her against the wall or bend her over the table or something. Like some people do. In fact, I think there's another woman I know like that, right? Like I ain't think much of her like while she was talking, but one time she was just sitting there just quiet. And that's sexual charisma. And the funny thing about it is social charisma is definitely extroversion, probably somebody who dresses well and all of that, right? You know, life of the party type. But the sexual charisma, they could have like not even the perfect body or something, but what it is somebody who's just totally comfortable with themselves sexually. And it's hard to describe in words, but they just comfortable. Like they could walk. Like I've said this several times. I'll never forget this young lady I saw when picking up my son. I've mentioned this several times because it was very illustrative of it. Almost to the point I should have took a video of it. You know, whipped out my phone and took a video of it. Right? And because she was wearing sweats, but just how she was walking, carrying herself and everything, it was like, damn, she's sexy as shit. You know, it's like that person who could just sit a certain way or something, or they wear their clothes a certain way, or even if they interact with you, because they're not always introverted, of course. You know, they just cool people. So you just like, damn, you sexy as shit, right? You know, there's just something about them. And it's funny, it's not necessarily based on looks play a part, but it's not the sole thing. Body type play a part. But if you notice, a lot of people who have that, it's an it factor. If they have that it factor, a lot of times they're not what's called standard good looking. They could be called ugly fine or something like that, right? They could be called ugly fine or ugly sexy or something like that. It's like they ain't the standard, but it's a combination of everything, right? And sometimes even the quiet part, because they can be something intriguing about them. It's like you look at them and it's like, they ain't saying nothing, but it's like, damn. You know what? She don't got those curves, but something about them. Like women understand that better. How many women have dealt with some dude and they just like, you know what? He ain't as tall as I would like. He could stand and lose some weight. You know, he kind of quiet. But a woman want to do them. It's just something about them that says, you know, it, like I say, it's really an aura thing, right? So, I mean, on a general level, that's the difference. That's the difference. Sometimes people confuse it too. Now, somebody's kind of blessed if they got both. But it's rare people got both. If you take an honest look at some of the men and women who getting it like that, they ain't always the most popular person. They are not always the most popular person, or, you know, that concept of what people have as an alpha, the center of attention. No, it's like I always say, I've said it, my inner circle knows, this is a running joke. You might just be that person who go into a restaurant or a club or something. You in the corner eating buffalo wings, and every woman's finding their way to you. That's sexual charisma. Now, the social charisma is the dude come in and he's chatting up everybody, right? But like I said, that don't always translate to sex. So anyway, that's it for now. I'll get back with y'all later. Peace.